Good day, LA, and welcome to those of you watching from all around the world to another episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. I am your host, Zach Goldsmith, alongside my first mate, Ben Billick.
Hello.
And today, we welcome a young legend.
Young, I like it.
Jason Oppenheim.
Don't talk during the intro.
Yeah, please. What, did you just interrupt?
It's
We
unbelievable.
got to start again. Jason
Sorry,
Oppenheim
guys, I won't interrupt anymore.
is just your average real estate agent who happens to also be an actual real estate broker and attorney, nerd. And he's also a pretty big influencer and reality TV personality. He is the president and founder of the Oppenheim Group and may be best known for being the star of his own Netflix show, Selling Sunset, and its spinoff now, Selling the OC. Are you in that? I don't know if you're in that. Look, he's learned not to talk during the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm clearly not doing enough.
It's true.
Please welcome Jason Oppenheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Thank you for coming, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to dive right into it. How did the opportunity of Selling Sunset come about, and why did you decide to do it?
This guy, Adam and Skylar, who are now our current producers, called. And we initially told them, no, we were not interested.
Really?
Yeah. And they...
You
but
were
they-
worried about image. And
Yeah, I
your-
was just...
your
Everything was
clients.
going so well. I was like... Yes, I knew there would be potential benefits to a great show, right? But first of all, a great show, a great network, those are all, long shots. And, the idea of I was very, I still am, but I guess less so, but very just controlling and just wanting to manage everything. So the idea of someone being in control of my reputation and my company reputation was just antithetical to like who I was as a person. Also, had never watched reality TV, probably not a single episode of any reality TV ever really. And was just uncomfortable with reality TV.
Not even the Whitney and Bobby show? God, I love that show. Okay.
It's dry. So I don't even know the Whitney and Bob.
No,
Houston,
Whitney
Bobby
Houston.
Brown.
That's
No.
that's showing my age, but let's move on.
I'd seen a couple of episodes of $1 Million Listing, and I'm sure I had seen.
Little Kardashian here and there.
I'd never
The
seen a
Osbournes.
Kardashian, never seen an Osbourne. no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
not a
Osbourne.
reality guy. I mean, more so
me neither
now than
until
then,
now.
but
Yeah.
still not a reality guy.
So what got you over the hump?
I watched your guys' show.
got
though.
his-
Fucking great show, by the way.
You like it?
Yeah.
That's the whole reason we
Look,
brought you
the
on
network told him to pitch
No,
our
I really
show
do
too.
like
I
your
love
guys' show. That's true.
here. Thank you. We appreciate
And the
that.
podcast. I find it very informative. And I'm not just plugging you guys. The only reason I'm here because I get invited on a lot of podcasts.
That's sick,
And I
dude.
don't-
We appreciate
I
that.
don't drive, across town.
Do
You mean get driven across town, but yeah, that's still nice.
I'm trying to be relatable to the audience. So.
that's never gonna happen.
Oh my God!
What- but what-
relatable? You've had your own show for
I'm
the
salt-
last 7 years. You're
Salt
trying
is
to
the
be
salt of the
relatable?
earth right here.
But wait, what got you over the hump? Why did you decide to do it?
So that they talked their way in to have a meeting. We had taken a meeting like a year earlier. We're like, okay, we'll take another meeting because the women seemed kind of interested. They sat us down. They told us about their previous shows they had done. I forget what they were. They're going to kill me if they see this. But I know they had done some other big shows. I had not seen them, but the women had seen them. And I'm
Did
going
they
to
do like the Hills or something
thank
like
you.
that?
Yes, the Hills and Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
So
It's Adam DeVello?
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
develop.
Okay.
So, great pedigree, and I think the women were very interested in it. We're like, you know what? He says, let me just, because he could tell we were kind of reticent to do something. He's like, let me just interview you guys. Let's do something for 5 minutes. We said, we agreed to that. Then that kind of, sizzle reel, they called it, or whatever it was.
Sure.
They're like, oh, let's do like a 20-minute pilot, And so then we did that. And of course, we had told them like Netflix is who we're interested in. And then he came back to us and said, Netflix is interested in picking up a season. So we're like, holy shit, we're actually going to do a real reality show now. And of course, I was a wreck season 1. I mean, I was really, luckily they'll never release, like all my tantrums, but
Oh, you
and
were
my-
like, we're not doing this. We're not.
I was overthinking everything. I mean, I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't know Adam. I didn't know the production company. I didn't know how it would come out. I was so worried. I was a wreck to work with.
Remember when I came in with
Very John
1,000
Grauman.
I came in with 1,000 pages of notes before the show started. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like preparing.
Zach's in our season 2, like the whole thing, and he did come in like with this plan on like the first day we were filming, and I was like, dude, I don't think you understand. Like they're gonna tell us what we're doing pretty much. It's all going out the window.
I came in like it was a scripted show, and I was the showrunner. I was like, guys, I got every episode.
By week 4, he finally gave up. Okay, so we talk a lot on this show about preeminence, like being known, and we have made arguments that being known is actually more important than anything else for an agent or an entrepreneur in the service business. Now that you are on the show and you have hindsight 2020, even after saying like how you were a nightmare and maybe controlling, would you agree with that being known is extremely important?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about trying to get business, to become successful financially, probably. But if you're talking about being a great agent, then it doesn't make the top 10 list. But, I think most people listening to this might be trying to figure out how to become successful from a financial perspective, in which case I would agree with you.
How about this?
Just say get your own show.
Well,
buddy.
no. Let me
That's
ask.
my advice.
I'll ask it this way. So, like, you can be like some of the people that we know that have been in the business for like 3 decades, let's say, in this market, right? And then they have tenure and they have incoming calls because they've been around, they endured, right?
Yeah.
But then you can kind of skip the line a bit, as maybe some of the agents on your team have done via the show to sell like big ticket listings,
Yeah,
right?
that's absolutely right.
So
I
in
mean,
a
we
way, you
get-
can kind of budge. You can not have tenure by being known in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the cheat codes, in a video game. I mean, definitely, the show has garnered, tons of listings and buyers. We've got, and every year, I mean, we keep growing despite the market, slowing down. I mean, 2023 was shit for everyone. But in terms of moving up into the higher end market, we're having our best year really in that regard. So
That's awesome.
I definitely have to
Congrats.
attribute a decent amount of that to the publicity we get from the show.
Yeah, I remember way before the show, I had listings and I saw your name canvassing the markets there, north of Sunset, Hollywood Hills. And I was like, is this guy? And
you were more serious then too. I will say
I
you were a
was.
more serious guy.
well,
I
it was
was.
such a, it was such a
much
polished.
smile.
There was
You
such
smile
a
more now.
No,
well,
I
there
was a
such
hustler back
polished,
then.
and there was such a polished package put together
Yeah.
that it's sort of like I feel like that your show now is probably who you are anyway.
Well, I'm also just a more relaxed guy now than I was, back in the day when we were starting out. Like I started out in 2010. I'd, just been I'd been a corporate lawyer for many years. I was very serious, really hard work. I was putting in 15, 17-hour days. I was doing everything myself. I was really hard on myself. I was really hard on anyone that was, working with me. I was not an easy person probably to get along with, but I was just extremely serious and extremely hardworking and extremely focused on becoming successful in real estate.
It's funny you say that. I was just talking to my wife about this, who is the sweetest person in the world. And then when she has the people who work for her, like when they are not performing to her level, she's like a different person. I'm like, all right, easy, Mamba. Like not everyone will have your work ethic and will have your drive and dedication for your business.
Yeah.
So how did you get those people to step up to your level when you're the real one profiting there for your own business, right?
Well, I've gone through a transition, to be fair. I mean, back then it was pretty
I
much
didn't know
just
that.
me. Yeah.
What's the new name?
Careful. Careful. This is your last podcast. So back 12, 13 years ago, I really had that lawyer mentality, just that grinder. Everything had to be perfect, and I was so hard on everyone. I'm so hard on myself. And I couldn't afford an assistant. So I eventually, like in 2000, I think I started with the Joyce Ray team.
That's what we were going to ask you. How did
Yeah.
you go from Joyce Ray to like Tom Bilyeu?
Oh, okay. So I don't discuss
didn't-
my clients, but
Okay,
Oh,
fine.
nice. Can you
It's-
back up?
hold on.
You
If
look
it's-
like you're playing a secret agent on a
sorry.
ship in San Tropez, and all I see
Call
is
me
the back.
Guy.
Yeah, can you?
No.
Can
So
you back
sorry.
up, please?
What I was gonna say
Can't
is,
see my
it's
boy.
been in the press, so that's fair.
sure.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about him, but you were on Joyce Ray's team, and then you sold at that time the highest price sale on the strip, and that was the record for a minute.
I mean, many years after Joyce. So when I left law, my brother and I both left, big corporate law jobs because we just couldn't do it anymore, to be honest.
Did you work together?
No, different law firms. He quit, and then I quit. Anyway, we did not know what we wanted to do. We honestly sold everything we owned. We packed We packed a bag, a 50-pound bag, and traveled the world for like 3 years. I mean, didn't do anything.
3 years.
3 years. We would go for like 6 months, come back, laundry, clean up, hang out with friends for like a week, and then head back out.
Laundry.
You had 3 years of reserves.
No, I didn't. I came back in significant credit card debt.
Really?
Yeah, back when you could do that. This is 2000. We quit law in 2007, and I traveled to 2010.
Good
I
for
came
you.
back in
What
like
a- what an experience.
$45,000 of credit card debt. I don't know what my brother had, but asked my grandpa if I could drive his, $900 like 84 Lincoln. I mean, when I came back from traveling and started with Joyce, I was living in a one-bedroom, $1,200 a month, sleeping on the couch, driving my grandpa's car that overheated. I mean, it was not a pretty. I went from being like a high-powered attorney, making several $100,000 a year, to really just struggling, trying
Or
to pay
you
off
could
credit
look
card
at it
debt.
as someone who became very rich in culture and world travels and enlightened.
As I did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're a
I mean,
different person
I would
because of
recommend
it,
that to
And you
anyone.
would never go back on what you did.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
No, because you can't do that when you're. People wait till they retire. You're 70 years old. You're going to travel to. I went to 80 countries. You're not going to travel to 80 countries when you're 70 years old.
Whoa!
Sick.
Wow!
Yeah, well, 3 years. It's
I
some
mean-
time.
Zach turns into Christopher Walken.
Wow! 30, 80
Socket.
countries is amazing. That's outstanding. I couldn't go to one, let alone two.
Oh my gosh. 7 years ago or so, before you pre-show, but before you really blew up as an agent, I was up against you for a listing. And the seller told me that you said on the Sunset Strip from $3 to $7 million, I own this market. I own it. And so aside from geography, when you were an agent, were you really focused on that local farm, the strip?
Yeah.
Or were there any other pipelines that you pursued that were important to you?
I had nobody that I knew. I had no clients really. So I had the negative is I didn't have any listings. The positive was that I wasn't tied to any particular area. So I said, like, what's my dream? What's the most fun I could ever have being a real estate agent? I already chosen my favorite job, which is being a
Wow,
realtor.
what a start.
Then I said, the Hollywood Hills to me is the sexiest area in the world. It's all these cool people and these cool homes. It was my dream to live there. So I said, that's where everyone told me about farming, right? Like, pick an area. I mean, I remember, I guess Steve was like the manager of Coldwell Banker and was with Joyce. And they're like, you get to pick an area. I'm like, I get to pick my area?
Oh, wow.
I want the Hollywood Hills. Like Joyce was doing Beverly Hills. I'm like, no, I want like the
Sexier.
Hollywood Hills. Yeah. So that's what I said. I'm just going to start farming the Hollywood Hills. And I just manifested it. I mean, I just worked, people always ask what tricks there are or like knowledge. I wish I could give someone like some great informative sentence. I mean, I work 17-hour days. I looked at a street map, like old school street map, and I memorized every single street in the Hollywood Hills. I memorized every house, every sale. I went to every broker open and every open house on Sundays, so that when I finally met someone at a restaurant that said they lived on, Kinglet, or I'm just making, some street, I would sound like I had sold a bunch of homes. Like I would be like, oh, I went to the open house down the street. The parking on your street sucks, but I really like the views from the east side. Also I was just very direct with people, honest, direct, super knowledgeable, and I had the legal background, and I told people I was a lawyer, and I was just a serious dude. And I think people finally would give me a shot. Now, granted, I was doing leases and 1.5, $2.5 million homes. It's not like I was balling out, selling $5 and $10 million homes in 2010, 11. But you sell a $1.5 million house, then 6 months later they call you back. They want to buy a $2 million house.
You're building the foundation.
Yeah, you're building the foundation. I was doing 30. That time I wasn't making much money, but I think my first year I didn't do shit. I did one deal. My first year, I didn't make any money for 8 months, and Joyce gave me the lead. I mean, I really could not. It's so hard to start in real estate.
That's what I would say.
The
It's
secret sauce is be really good at what you do, because you just got
Yeah.
really good at what you
and
do.
have experience. Give yourself experience. No, don't have experience by selling homes, obviously, because you can't do that yet. But you
Know everything there is to
know
know.
everything there is to know, and so people, at the end of the day, you have to instill confidence, right? I mean, your client is going to give you one of their most important assets. Yes, I had the legal background and I, am intelligent and can speak intelligently, but if you don't know what you're talking about, they're going to see right through you in 2 minutes. So I fucking studied everything. I really obsessed about being. I printed out all the contracts. Actually, printed out all the contracts. I had them in like little files and shit at Coldwell Banker. I would highlight every single contract and memorize every single contract. I don't think there's a person in the last 10 years who has actually read every single CAR contract. I knew just about every word of every contract. You could ask me a question about anything.
Yeah, I obsess over it too, but that is going to another level. You said something really interesting that you're like, I got to pick the perfect area, I got to pick the perfect job. You wanted to be a realtor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, when I came back from traveling, my brother and I were like, what? I want to be happy. I had worked really hard. I had the job that everyone wanted, so to speak, the prestigious job,
You drove the douchey Porsche.
I had the Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah.
The corner office, dressed the part, had the part, looked the part, sounded like the part, go to the bar, tell the ladies you're an attorney.
You had it all for the corporate
But I was happy on paper. I wasn't really happy like in the real world. I was maybe a 6.5 on the happiness scale. And by the way, I every few months I look and make sure I'm at least a 7 or an 8. I wasn't. For years I was not a 7 or an 8, despite the fact that, I had everything that, I wanted. So when I came back, I decided I wanted to do what I thought would make me happy. And real estate, my family had been in real estate. I fucking love real estate. I was so when I was traveling, we would go look at properties in every country we were at, just because I just love real estate.
What do you love about real estate?
Oh, architecture, design, furnishing, the finances
You get
behind
into
it.
it all.
I like picking the best unit in a building. I like figuring out why a house is more valuable than the next house. Scale, architecture, floor plan. How could I add value? I love in putting my investor hat on with my clients and like trying to find a deal. I love literally just about everything about real estate, even the people.
He's convincing me to hire him as an agent. I can't even afford
what's
him.
interesting is what I'm hearing from you is like, someone once told me I had a mastery complex. Like the things that I get into, I go fucking long, wide, deep. Do you?
Yeah,
is there?
I'm the same way.
So do you?
I can't go into anything without
like
going deep.
Yeah, if you're into it, like you're going really hard. So is there anything else in
Am I the only person that
what?
went that in a bad direction there?
Oh, no.
Okay, fine.
It became very erotic.
I just wanted to laugh with
It
the
got
audience
erotic.
there.
Yeah.
Sure. No, we're going to bleep all that out.
Okay, good.
My question for you is there other things that in your personal life that you feel like you also do the mastery thing? Like
there's nothing in my life.
he
Like my
does.
parents instilled in me like having pride. I mean, if I handed in a book report when I was 6 years old, it had the best cover on it, and it was just printed perfectly. I mean, I'm big on presentation. I'm big in just detail. If I was polishing my shoes or if I washed my car, I would wash my car for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Someone else would wash it for 5 minutes. I could never take my car to get washed because it would never be done right. I mean, I was very detail oriented.
Do you think the people around you live up to your expectation of detail generally?
If they want to work for me, they do.
I think that 1 in 1,000 people have the level of mastery and detail that I think that I have.
Go ahead.
Does
Flex.
that make it hard?
Go ahead, Flex.
Does it make it hard for you to?
Oh yeah, that makes
to
life
lead?
hard.
And does it make it
Well,
make
I
it hard
think
to lead?
well, there's two things, and I'm just being honest about this.
Please.
There's a good and a bad with everything. The good, for me, is that I think that is why I'm successful, right? So I don't dismiss the benefit of being the way that I am. The negative is that you can be very frustrating. In life. Life can be frustrating for you if you live at a certain, expectation and other people don't. Then you can get frustrated. And if you don't enjoy the fact, like I know that if everyone was like me as a real estate agent, I would be dime a dozen. I would not be as successful as I am. So I focus on the beauty of the fact that it has rewarded me with this lifestyle. And I also, to be fair, I'm way more chill now than I was, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's like Billy. You got softer over the years. I will say that I had a coach once tell me, like, with regard to leading team members, like, hey, don't forget they're not you. That's why they need you. And that was really eye-opening for me.
I think like learning how to promote and brand yourself is big in this business. You have the benefit of having your own show. How do people brand themselves to stand out without that kind of promotion?
Okay, I'll start by saying this, and this sounds cliche, but it's so important, is authenticity, because you have to be yourself. Otherwise, it's going to come off as disingenuous. Like for example, I'm a very direct, overly honest person. So when I go into a listing, I'm very negative and very critical and very honest and very direct with my clients. But I get away with it because it's so clearly me. You know, if that's not you and you try to pull that off, or if I go into a listing and I'm super, like, oh, I love your kitchen when I don't love your kitchen, or and I'm like saying, oh, everything's great, and your house is worth $9 million. It's so inauthentic to me. It's just not my personality. I'm just I don't know. I just really enjoy being direct and honest. And so I've been able to curate and develop who I am.
Right. I think everyone we've had that we have respected tremendously who has branded themselves well probably does it that way. It's just organically, unapologetically themselves.
Yes.
And people
Yeah.
appreciate that in life.
Yeah, and there's a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe, and I think people allow you to do it because you've effectively, by being yourself over time successfully, have curated a tribe that accepts you for who you are, and you are like, hey, I'm okay. I'm not the agent for everyone. Maybe I'm not the best agent for the people that are looking for like the placating agent who's your friend.
Yeah.
And I'm in the pocket and doing my best for you when I'm being myself. And now your sphere of influence is full of people that accept you for who you are, which, by the way, while is a better business model, it's also a better life. Did you ever fear that kind of like the soap opera side of Selling Sunset would be a threat to your business long term once Selling Sunset ends one day?
No. First of all, I don't fear it at all. And second of all, and I know this probably sounds self-serving, but I also don't really care about the hate, and the comment. To be fair, I probably haven't even read a comment in years. I mean, I really don't pay attention to social media comments, and it doesn't discredit people that do. A lot of the people on our show, read the comments. For better or for worse, I'm just not particularly interested, and maybe that's not good for me to say.
It's probably good because the more that you're out there, the more negative comments and feedback you'll
and
get.
I also feel like if you're not getting hate, you're not on a good show. You know what I mean? If everyone's leaving you alone and not talking shit, then they're not jealous. It means you're not doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
How do you capitalize now on the show's success?
It just comes. I just get phone calls. I think it's a level of marketing that you could never pay for, right? I mean, it would cost you $50 million to get the marketing for my brand that I've received through the Netflix show. So I don't have to do anything other than just keep doing, just keep working hard and doing a good job. I mean, the clients come to me now, a lot of them, but you still got to do a good job because you want to keep them as clients. So I still do everything I do. I just have more incoming than I used to.
Right, and outside of the real estate stream, as an influencer, you've got a lot of followers, so you've got a lot of people wanting to get their products in front of you.
I do like social media collaborations, which, again, I was never into, but then I saw how lucrative it could be because the ladies were doing it, so now I'm leaning into it more. But that's like a fun thing that I'll do while I'm still relevant, and then in a couple years, I'll just be a real estate agent again. And
you love it.
I'll lean in. I'm going to be an agent. I'm going to die behind my desk. Yeah, I'll never retire. I mean, I really do enjoy.
You love representing shitty people?
I don't anymore. I mean, I literally. I'm at a point where well, first of all, I really don't think there's that many truly shitty people. I mean, 95%. Even when people are acting shitty, it's because of stress, or they don't know how to manifest their frustrations or their financial, concerns.
It's a good way to put it.
It's not like, I would say that's a very rare person who's actually a shitty person.
It's just they happen to be shitty the entire transaction.
Yeah, but I've got a thick skin for that.
You may be great.
I used to be a much more difficult person than I am today. And I was always what I considered a good person, but I was a difficult person to deal with sometimes.
So you don't care at that point. You're you no matter what. You're
yeah,
gonna deal with them
listen, I've been to a
same way.
therapist the last few years. That's amazing. I got her in an hour and a half. And she is also, as cliche as this is, but she would tell me, and this stuck with me more than anything else she said, because I would internalize other people's frustrations and other people's actions, and and she told me that other people's actions are not a reflection of you; they're a reflection of them, and like that kind of made me like realize that
see things differently.
Yeah, it was like, you know what? This is them. This is not on me. They're acting out because they have, whatever particular issues they're dealing with. Maybe they needed, whatever. I won't get into details, but yeah, essentially, I just stopped internalizing things so much,
It's
and I'm a
actually a
much more
great-
confident and happier person. I don't get as
Yeah.
angry with people anymore. And if they get upset, I don't let it like get that cortisol up in me like I used to.
That's a great way to approach life, is to imagine whatever they're going through, they're dealing with.
I mean, it's
Doesn't have to
obviously
affect
hard
you.
to always keep that perspective.
Sure.
It's easy to say on a podcast. It's hard to do when you're in the heat of the moment. And I'm by no means,
I know,
there
but you're
yet.
happier in those moments, don't you feel? Like when you- I do.
Yeah, I care a lot less about the small things now, and I don't let other people affect me as much, and I'm a happier person. Now, granted, I'm sure that all my friends and family and financial success and all that makes that easier maybe. As I'm getting older and more successful in those arenas, like maybe it's easier to not give a fuck as much. But I definitely think the therapy and focusing on that has helped too.
I see why Graham, by the way, interviewed him for 3 hours. Very pleasant guy to hang out with.
Do you have a morning routine?
No.
No morning routine.
I mean, the only thing that I do in the morning is kiss my dogs and then make a coffee.
That is not a routine.
By the way, it's his routine.
That-
I love to hear successful people that don't
Well,
come
that
on and
is
say,
all-
I get up at 4:30, I meditate for 2 hours,
I got up at 9.
Work out for 6 hours,
9:30. Went back to bed at 9:30. Fed my dog at 8. Went back to bed.
He is successful as a motherfucker.
And
He's
then-
like, he went back to bed.
He's just answering that question today. 20 years ago, he's like, I got up at 4. I spent 4 hours meditating.
I was never a morning guy. I've just
Me
never been a
neither.
morning
I
guy.
was trying to battle that. Oh, you
Yeah.
got to be a morning guy. I
No,
feel
you
like I do my
don't.
best work late.
I've never started work before 9 a.m. Even when I was like grinding,
this is
I would
my
just
favorite.
work till 2 a.m. But I
Cut,
would never.
We're done. End on
Yeah.
that.
That's-
so much
I
more
know.
excited for my life.
Wait, so I have a question for you. So look,
We've had a
you're
lot. How
selling,
many more?
You're selling.
I
in-
got time, guys. I don't have therapy till 6.
Okay, we're wrapping up here, but so a lot of people think you have to be a hot 6'4" glamazon to work at the Oppenheim Group. Is that true?
That's why I didn't apply.
You're not
Is that not
6'4".
true?
He's like, they won't
Yeah, I'm not 6'4".
So first of all, we have 80 agents at the Oppenheim Group now. I think between all the offices and
Mazel.
and maybe 8 are on selling Sunset and 10 are on selling the OC. So
10
I
on
think
selling
that
Cabo.
I think that it
He's
helps.
gotten to 80
That's
very
next.
quickly.
Yeah, I think it helps to be on the show. I think that there's a type for the show more than there's a type for the Oppenheim Group.
Yeah, well, that's a distinct difference.
Yeah, and I also, have brought on a lot of people close in my life or people that I've dated, and they happen to be attractive. So.
Do you do any recruiting of any
I see
kind?
that.
No.
Not anymore. Well,
No.
you definitely don't need.
No,
to.
I never recruited because I never wanted to grow. I never wanted to grow a brokerage. It wasn't until this year that I even opened up the other 2 offices. I just, first of all, I don't believe the brokerage model is that lucrative. It's more stress than it is money. And so I just had I did the Oppenheim Group for me. I didn't do it. I'm never selling it. I'm not. So expansion for me is not in and of itself a good thing. If I enjoy it and I have good people, fine. But I'm not really like running a business and trying to grow a balance sheet.
So if you had to kind of start over, particularly to the real estate agents that we have on the show, and obviously you're prolific at this point, you're known worldwide. They as they dream and hope, like Joyce Ray probably gave you like a little nugget here and there, as did my mentor, and Mauricio still drops them here and there to us.
I give you tips.
What is there any nugget that you would maybe offer up for someone who's new?
I mean, I'm not a hopeful guy or a dreamer. I don't have goals. So
Oh my God! No morning routine, no goals.
it's true though. I'm just a hard worker.
But you know what's the best
I
thing?
like to focus on just working hard. I'm not
So
super
consistency,
goal oriented.
showing up, consistency.
It turns me off when people are like, I'm going to be the top 8. I'm like, dude, chill with the goals. Chill with, the where you're going to be. Like, let's just own where we're at and let's just get better every day. It turns me off. I'm not, that's why I don't like watch YouTube videos. Like, I'm not like I don't got to get pumped up.
Well, that's because you're already redlining naturally.
No, but fine. Yeah. The answer is, the worst entrepreneurial advice that I can give here is that you should just work as hard as you can every day to advance where you want to be.
So like a little each day.
Don't talk about where you're going to be. I hate it when people talk about where they're going to be. It's like, that's such an LA thing.
And he's not even
Just
saying
do it. Just actually
do a
just
little bit
work
every
hard.
day. He's not saying do a little bit every day. He's just saying hit the pavement. That's it.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
can show up.
stop trying to get rich quick for one, and stop trying to find like golden nuggets.
Well, I do still think I hear you saying show up.
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me say one, because I have a lot of confidence in myself. So, and I would say that has been one of the more valuable things. I've always believed in myself that I could be successful. I've invested in myself. So that, and I'm not even saying everyone should invest in themselves. I mean, some people are more capable than other people. I mean, that's the real world. So if you think you can be, great and you're smart and hardworking, then invest in yourself. I mean, I opened up the Oppenheim Group with every dollar I had. I had no agents. It was just me, and I built out this office. That could have miserably failed. I mean, if I had presented that business plan to like a, my Berkeley, business school class, it would have got an F. Like, they're like, well, where's the plan? I'm like, I don't have a plan. Like, I'm just going to build a dope office, and I'm going to sell homes in the Hollywood Hills because that's my favorite area.
I can't believe all the people watching be like,
Wait.
that's writing notes. Okay, build a dope office.
Yeah.
Sell homes everywhere.
Hire all your best friends.
Great advice.
The one thing that I thought
your
was,
best
I
friends.
can't remember. You said two things that really stood out to me. One, I remember only one of them at this point, but
Which was he would be friends with you.
no.
That stood out to me. Hearing that.
His positive outlook on. He was like, wait, I get to choose my area, whereas most people would be like, how am I going to compete with so and so who's already doing so much business there? You were like, wait, what? Like, I get, that Seinfeld bit when he's like, when kids hear about Halloween and they're like, I can wear that, So I just think, you have this like natural positive outlook. Everything that we asked you, like, did you have fear around the genre of the show? Did when you were getting into real estate, how did you get to these things? Every single thing, you're like, I believe in myself, and you have this positive spin. And I think you're lucky that comes naturally to you. It doesn't for everybody.
Is this the way you were raised?
Yeah,
You
my
attribute this to your
parents
parents?
always like.
Give me some parenting tips, will you?
He needs.
I mean,
it.
my
He yells at
parents
his
were
kids in
tough
public.
on me, but also like instilled a ton of confidence in me. Like, maybe this is. I just assumed every parent told their kid that like they could do whatever they wanted and be whatever they wanted, and they were so talented,
Definitely
and
not.
intelligent.
Nope.
Okay, so
None of this
that
is
was
ringing
Shut up! You're a moron.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of that, and I was a shitty kid. We won't get into it,
No,
but
I
I mean, it's
see
not
that.
like I was successful when I was younger. But I had a lot of self-confidence. Even when I was totally fucking up, I had a lot of self-confidence.
Because
And if I
your
ever,
parents instilled in
yeah,
you
I'm like,
that
if I
you-
ever, I always believed that if I ever did apply myself, I was going to do really well. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a car mechanic, but I thought I was going to be the best car mechanic. Whatever I wanted to do, I really did believe I was going to be great at it.
In 5th grade, is that what you wanted to be? A car mechanic?
5th grade, high school, college.
Really?
Yeah.
Aspiring.
Yeah, I took auto body in high school. I didn't even really go to normal
Yeah, I
high
took
school.
auto body in high school, too. I couldn't wait to get out.
Oh, I specialized. I took what's called a regional occupation program, where for people who knew what they wanted to do, instead of going to like a normal curriculum, educational curriculum, you could focus on auto tech and auto body. So half my high school was working on my hot rod.
That's amazing.
I do like him a lot. You kind of want to meet with these legends and be like, you know what? Jason's up for the job, too. Oppenheim?
I like him. What can I say?
I'm out.
Yeah, hire him. He's gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
He's gonna be
I
nice
love
about
your
it.
kitchen, FYI. Meet with Jason. I think you did an incredible job.
By the way, that is how you beat him.
That is, yeah. You tell them $1 million more than their house is worth. You'll get the
Look,
listing.
I think you did a bang-up job. For me, I would buy this in a second. Let's focus on the general public. Wipe your slate clean.
Any more questions for Jason before we let him go to therapy?
I'd like to be in the therapy. You want to Zoom? I'd like to see what she does.
And then I don't have what's that privilege, a therapy privilege.
Yeah. Do you love therapy? Every time you go,
I think
do you
everyone-
have stuff
I
laid
don't-
out on the table to give?
No, I don't prep like you, man. The therapy for me is like going to the gym. I don't love going to the gym. If I could snap my fingers and be done with the gym, I would snap my fingers every day. But I do it because I know that it's good for my body. I know that
Discipline.
therapy is good for my mind, yeah. It's like the gym for my mind.
Yeah, his discipline is a hard. Yes, of course. You like discipline. This guy doesn't. That's why he has the arms like
Those are
this.
some good,
And you have arms that look like
good
a golden
accents.
girl. Show them your baby. Show them your baby arm.
On that note, guys, thank you for tuning in to another action-packed, info-packed, not advice-packed episode of To Live and Buy in Los Angeles. If you can't find living legend Jason Oppenheim on the internet, you're on the wrong wavelength. I'm at Ben Bellac, seated next to at Zach Goldsmith 24.
Can I interrupt the closing or?
God, no.
Shit.
Unbelievable.
We have to
do it again?
re-record now.
That's
you
his
like
impersonation
this
of
guy. You like this guy. He doesn't stop. If you, by the way, he's thinking right now, he's like, who's talking? One more question.
Take us out, Zach.
Take us out.
Wait, did you really want to ask something in the
No,
end?
I
You
just wanted to be a dick.
Fuck, no one's done that to us before.
No one has
Doesn't
interrupted
feel
the
good.
closing. He's a master. He's a mastery complex. Say it.
Thank you.
Just say it.
Super bien.